Good morning, everybody. BTC Simmer here with you. How's everyone doing? Good afternoon, good evening, good night, no matter where you may be. We're here in Microsoft Flight Simulator again, Edinburgh Airport, stand 200, heading to Prestwick. And if we have time, we're going to shoot up to Kirkwall. However, we got tons of cargo to go to Prestwick. We're 12,475 our weight, so we're 25 pounds near the, look at that truck up there, near the limit. You gotta love Flight Simulator. Near the weight limit, 12,5, 5,222 pounds of cargo. We got 85.4 gallons, so we got, typical Twin Otter configuration, low fuel and high cargo, short flight. So this flight's only 49 nautical miles. The plan is over 100, but we're gonna go direct after takeoff instead of going down to TLA, Tala. We're doing the Tala 6 Charlie departure, but we'll break off. Vatsim's not on, so we should be able to get away with it if you look at it in that way. Go up to 5,000 and use runway 21 at Prestwick, and out of here we'll be using 24. So that's the plan for the flight. As far as the price, guys, price Bitcoin, guys, 28,100 US dollars, which amounts to around 38,569 Canadian Trude bucks. All right, you guys stack that corn, stack that cheap Bitcoin. It's under 30K. It's a deal. It's a deal. There's still time. Just buy 10 bucks, buy 20 bucks, buy 50 bucks. You don't have to buy a whole coin. There's lots of thoughts of, oh, it's too expensive. Well, yeah, to buy a whole coin, of course it is. Buy a 20, 30, whatever. It's not too bad. Long term, guys, long time preference. Long time preference. Generational stacking, which amounts to generational wealth. You want to pass this on, all right? Emergency, you know your Bitcoin will be there. It's always there. You don't want to use it, but it'll be there. Alright, let's get to some headlines here. This one's awesome here. Famous crypto hater Peter Schiff may buy thousands of Bitcoin for this specific reason. From what I've heard, he's not really a crypto hater. He's more of a Bitcoin hater, but I think he puts on a front. Him capitulating, well, sure, yeah, he's probably been buying this stuff since forever, and maybe he thinks he can swing the price with what he says, but good luck. Anyways. Welcome aboard. Bitcoin reclaims 28K after enhanced volatility. Litecoin up 15%. Yeah, like Litecoin. Yeah, it's just basically a carbon copy of Bitcoin from what I understand. But yeah, Bitcoin reclaims 28K. Reclaims, guys. We all knew it would reclaim. Greenpeace war on Bitcoin unintentionally spawns badass new mascot. You know, Greenpeace. There's a great book on Greenpeace. I can't remember the title, but it tells the inner workings of it and what it's actually about. I heard a guy who used to work with Greenpeace back in the day on a podcast not too long ago. But if I remember that, I will try and get it to the channel. They're trying to be green. Bitcoin is a lot more green than fiat. Think of a fiat bank, fiat security, fiat employees, fiat this, fiat that. You gotta have a physical building with power, with employees, with everything else, and that's just scraping the surface. Never mind everything else that goes into fiat. Whereas Bitcoin just tick-tock, next block. Yeah, it costs power to mine, but you can store that energy. No one's gonna touch it. All right, let's get to our flight, guys. Do the checks here, and I'll probably be speeding them up. You can see we got the different Flybe livery here today, so thought I'd change it up. All right, let's get going. Alright guys, we're ready to push here. Couple guys on. Vatsim. Manual pushback. We'll let him connect, make sure everything's looking good. We got our lights on. We pre-programmed the route, as you've probably seen. Test our static port here, our battery. Light will come on there, that's good. We got our ADF programmed NDBs. Right, we can get moving now. Edinburgh traffic, November 3845 Bravo type Twin Otter, taxiing stand 200 to runway 24 via Papa Alpha Charlie, holding Charlie 1. Edinburgh traffic. Check out the truck, guys. Add-on scenery. Messed it up, I guess. Let's get an outside view here. Like I say guys, I haven't noticed much in the way of the sim update, but then again, I don't know how much it applies to everything I do, so slow this down here and pop the brake. Look at this car, here he comes. Speeds up. Alright, that's about good for us. An aircraft landing and he's holding. What was I doing here? Taxi lights are on. Go ahead and set the flaps. Auto feather armed. Had the parking brake off, I don't know what happened there. Oh, there he is. Guys, I don't know what's going on here. Is the throttle connected to the parking brake or what? Not quite sure. Maybe a brake's sticking, I don't know. But I don't want to slow down too much and then get stuck again. Gotta get those Charlie rudder pedals ordered. If there's any available anywhere. He's announcing his takeoff. Do our run up. Got our auto feather armed. Anti-ice. We'll turn that on right now. Put it on auto. Get there. There he goes. We'll watch him take off. Oh, tail strike. Just kidding. Just kidding. Nice takeoff. Alright. Let's go back through a run up. Quantity is low, but what we need for the flight. Boost pumps are on. Rudder trim tabs, we'll set those. Flight instruments checked. Headings are lined up. Navcom radios are set. Props are full forward. Auto feather is selected. Flaps will go 20 degrees for this takeoff. We're a little heavy. Pitot heat's on. Landing lights will turn those on. Alright, ready to go. This is being recorded through OnAir. If I didn't tell you guys already. Edinburgh traffic, November 3845 Bravo, lining up runway 24, Charlie 1, Edinburgh. Either I'm real heavy or the brakes are sticking because something's weird. Might be my old rudder pedals, I don't know. Let's put us back to 30 here. Leave it there for a sec, make sure everything's alright. Okay, looks good, right up to 50. Edinburgh traffic, November 3845 Bravo, taking off runway 24 from Charlie 1, Edinburgh. Maybe. There we go. Just let it get up to close to 80 there and then we'll pull her back. There we go. Should be sufficient.
Airborne time logged.
Wait till we're about 400 feet and do our flaps. We go ahead with our gups check. Gas looks good. Undercarriage, we can tap the brakes. Props, we can go ahead and bring the flaps right up. Throttle, we can touch back out of the red. And props, we can gently touch back. Switches, landing lights can go off. Pitot heat stays on. Pumps stay on. Alright. Edinburgh traffic, November 3845 Bravo, airborne 1100, up to 5000, direct to Echo Golf Papa Kilo, Edinburgh. Okay, we're going a bit fast here. We can nose up a little bit here. Up for our climb. The wind's probably helping us out. Just watch that turbine temperature there. Just keep it yellow or green, preferably green. But And we can disarm the auto feather, sorry. Do our climb checks. Flaps are up, yes they are. Auto feather's off, climb power is set. Landing lights are off. Okay, looking good. We're around 100 knots. I don't notice a whole lot of different. Maybe the clouds aren't as chunky, I guess. You guys remember how they had the squares in the clouds before? Don't seem to see those now, but a little bit of rain. Okay, we planned for 5,000. I know it's an odd altitude flying west, but it's the way it went for this one. We'll come back and touch on the power there, and props can come back to 75. We can autopilot that. We can maintain our heading for now. Come here and we'll go here. PK direct. 8. There we go. It's 42 miles. We'll go through our checks again, guys, see if we missed anything or not. Climbs, flaps are up, auto feathers off. Climb power, ignore that because we're cruising. Landing lights are off. For cruise power is set, yes it is, and props are back to 75. We're just over 300, we're about 320, 330 per side, so cruising pretty good. Be a fast cruise. Alright, catch you guys on the other side. Alright guys, we're about 15 miles east. Do our descent checks here. Quantity selector looks good, nice and low. Caution lights appropriate, yes they are. Anti-ice is still on. Cabin signs, set landing lights, turn those on. Don't need cabin signs. We're a cargo plane right now. That is that. Right, we'll descend down to about 2,000 feet here, and I'll probably do a visual for runway 21. It's saying it's VFR and no ceiling here, although obviously we can see clouds, and now it says scattered 1900. So okay, we'll come back on the throttle before we get going too fast here, and we'll call Prestwick. Prestwick traffic, November 3845 Bravo, type Twin Otter, is 12 miles east, inbound runway 21, a visual. Make a left downwind for runway 21, Prestwick traffic. We're gonna come down a lot slower than. Now we got the low fuel lights on there. There's Prestwick there. We want to do a left downwind like we were saying. We're going to have to make a left turn here. Almost parallel. Where all my markers went. It's pretty green. Holy moly. Okay, there's our 2,000 feet. Add in some throttle. Remember guys, are pretty heavy, so add in a good amount of throttle here. Okay, that's runway 1230 there. You can see we're looking at 3 and 21 go the direction we're headed.
Other traffic loading departure 5 miles to the north, 9 miles for ILS runway 23.
A lot of windy landings here, and it's 15 knots at 220, so straight up the runway. Alright, I think we can make our turn. Oops, ended up back in behind there. Alright, center our view here. Put her down to about 1500. See, the runway's over that way. Let's join. Let's manually take over here. Bring the props up, do a gups check. Gas is as good as it's going to be. Undercarriage, we can tap the brakes. Props are full, throttle, bring it up a little bit. Prestwick traffic, November 3845 Bravo, joining downwind from the east for runway 21. Prestwick traffic. Prestwick traffic, November 3845 Bravo, that's a left downwind. For runway 21, full stop visual, Prestwick. Let's get rate aligned here. We're 3.8 miles, a little further out.
Glasgow traffic and LoganAir 55 at Juliet Foxtrot is 4.5 mile final for runway 23, Glasgow traffic.
20 degrees of flaps.
Slow.
Tight turn here. Prestwick traffic, November 3845 Bravo. Base for runway 21, visual, full stop. That's a left base. Prestwick traffic. Okay, let's see how good we've done here. I don't know why, but I have my doubts. There she is there. Oh, not looking too bad. Prestwick traffic, November 3845 Bravo, final runway 21, full stop, visual. Prestwick traffic. I'm not seeing the runway. I'm not seeing the runway. Oh, there it is there. This airport always gets me. I don't know if it's the foothills around it or what.
Cargo traffic, Logan, Pyreegue Airport, short final, runway 23, 85 knots, cargo traffic.
Okay, do another final check here. Gas looks good, undercarriage we can tap the brakes. Props are full, throttle's managed, landing lights are on, pitot heat's on, pumps are on. Right. Looking good, and I think we're 2 and 2 or 3 and 1. We'll go another 10 degrees for 30 degrees total flaps. And we're going to have to refuel here if we go to Kirkwall. Kirkwall's a little bit further than it was to here from Edinburgh, so.
Wing 220 at 20 knots.
Cargo traffic, Logan, Pyreegue Airport, short safety, keep runway 23, cargo traffic.
40, 30, flight 20, 10.
Landing time logged.
Okay, we can ditch the flaps. Torpedo heat off. And attempt to taxi this heavy thing around. It's like a tank right now. Lots of cargo on board. Okay, landing go off, taxi can go on. Coming that way, no one coming that way, and let's see what happens here. This thing scares me on the ground, guys. Seems like it's just gonna flip or something. Especially with this much cargo on board. Prestwick traffic, November 3845 Bravo, clear of the active. And we'll make a nice slow turn here, not follow any of the lines. We'll spin ourselves around, maybe. There. Parking brake. We'll kill the engines. Do a shutdown procedure. Brake, power levers, flight idle. Up to flight idle. Feather the props. Yeah, see, something is it's the brakes that are sticking. Pretty sure. Generators can go down. And fuel levers off.
Engine off time logged. The flight is finished. It has been monitored by OnAir.
Boost pumps can go off, and then all lights can go off. Off, 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 and off. Alright. How'd you guys like that flight? Pretty good. Now, I don't know if I can load OnAir right now, head to Kirkwall or not. Not exactly sure how that's going to work. Going to work. Alright, here we are at Prestwick. Windy Prestwick. It was actually a pretty good landing there. I did find the runway, which is always good, so that's definitely a good thing. Alright. I will be back. Tab into OnAir here. Alright guys, we're back. We're planned, ready to go to Kirkwall. Planned through Simbrief, simple route, Gow and Wick. We're at 9,000 feet. We'll be up to, what am I looking at here? 229 gallons of fuel, 4,200 pounds of cargo, and it's about a 214 nautical mile flight up that way. So yeah, we're a little lighter, 419, not much lighter, but lighter in the cargo, more in the fuel, obviously, as it's a longer flight up to that, up to Kirkwall. So that's the plan. We'll come out here on Sierra Romeo holding Romeo 1 and taking off runway 21 again. Make a left turn and on the course from there straight up to Kirkwall. Alright, let's get going to the checks. Alright guys, ready to taxi here. Make our call out. Let's check repilot again here and see. Nope, no one's on yet, so right. Prestwick traffic, November 3845 Bravo, type Twin Otter, taxiing to runway 21 via Sierra Romeo, holding Romeo 1. Prestwick traffic. Okay, watch out for forklift. If only I had a horn. It's this way. I believe this is R1. Yes, it is. Go ahead and do our run up here. Alright. Checks parking brake, auto feather arm the auto feather. Autopilot is fine. We put in our height. Fuel quantity looks good. Boost pumps are on. Trim tabs. Set those for takeoff. Fine. Elevator, put that back to here. Flight instruments appear to be okay. We've got the runway heading and then we've got our course. Navcom radios are set. 0.06 or 0.6 for Prestwick. Prop levers full forward. Auto feather selected. Flaps will go 10 degrees. Engine instruments looking good. Pitot heat is on and landing lights, taxi lights off. Prestwick traffic, November 3845 Bravo, taking off runway 21 from Romeo 1. Prestwick traffic.
Airborne time logged.
Okay, aileron slowly coming alive. There's our 400 feet. Come back on the throttle. Below that red line there. Touch back on the props. Do a gups check. Gas looks good. Undercarriage, tap the brakes. Props are set. Back and throttle is touch back. Landing lights can go off. Pumps are on. Pitot heat's on. Right. Prestwick traffic, November 3845 Bravo 1000. Runway heading. Making a left turn onto course. Good day. Prestwick traffic. Okay, auto feathering come off as well. Tend to forget that one. Go ahead and put on the yaw damper. Get that nose up a little more here. We'll overcorrect right to north. Level our wings there and keep that nose up. There's Prestwick Airport down there. Definitely a little heavy. Having a bit of trouble maintaining climb here, but power's looking good. Speed's looking good. We're nearly on course. Okay, we can shallow turn right into course here. Put this up to 2992. Or 1013 1013. Friends across the pond. Level off right around here, approaching 9,000 feet. Come back on the props. Touch the throttle back to 45. And we'll level off here. 9,000. Okay, we'll go ahead and autopilot that one. Navigation hold. Nav's not catching, I don't know why. Does this every now and then. Alright, let's check our fuel flow. We're a touch below 300 pounds per side, it looks like. 45 torque pressure, 75 on our props. And rolling right along. Alright guys, we will catch you on the other side. Alright guys, start our descent here. Quantity selector checked. Looks like we burned some fuel. We're 19 miles south of Kirkwall. Caution lights appropriate, anti-ice is on, cabin and landing lights. Turn those on. We'll set our altitude down to about, what's it saying on the plate here? I got the plate in front of me. It's definitely IFR here in Kirkwall. 2400 is what we want to shoot for. Back on the throttle. Go VS. And they're 985 QNH. QNH for Kirkwall. There we go. Follow our heading here, and then we'll program ILS or VLOC. There we go. I do have the plate in front of me, so hopefully I can do this one a lot prettier than the last one. So it'll be about 2,400 feet. How many miles? How many miles back? Just looking for the waypoints here on the plate. 8 miles? 3.5? No. About 10 miles back. So at about 10 miles we'll take a little left turn and set that up. Alright, we'll continue our descent. Kirkwall traffic, November 3845 Bravo, type Twin Otter is 13 miles south, inbound ILS runway 09. Full stop. We'll report final on established ILS 09 Kirkwall traffic. Alright. Okay guys, we'll do our gups check. Gas looks good, undercarriage is fine, props will go right to full. Bring our power back up. There's Kirkwall there, we got approach mode turned on. Just gotta watch our speed here. Go to control, throw 10 degrees of flaps. Landing lights are on and pumps are on. Call established. Kirkwall traffic, November 3845 Bravo. Established ILS runway 09, 9.5 miles. Full stop, Kirkwall. Yeah, 600-foot ceilings, 1,200-foot overcast. So, approach mode is the best bet. 13 knot winds at 060, so we got a bit of a crosswind off the end of the runway. Shouldn't be a big deal. Select 20 degrees. Make some nice pictures right here. Okay, we gotta get slowing down a little more here. There, that'll make a nice one. Go. And we got a visual of the runway. 4.5 miles. Final. Kirkwall traffic, November 3845 Bravo is a 4.5 mile final. Runway 09 ILS fully established. Full stop. Kirkwall.
saying 050 at 19 knots.
So it's saying 050, 19. Medar TAF says 060 at 13. Little indifference there, no big deal. We got below that ceiling now. See the radar altimeter just moving 300 feet. Going a bit fast here. Slow her down a little more. Little farmhouse down there.
Minimums.
Okay, take control.
100. Light slow. 50. 40. Light slow. 30. Light slow. 20. 10.
Landing time logged.
There we be. Bring those flaps up, POE can go off. Try and get moving here again. I don't know what ends up happening here. Sticky brakes or something. Ever since the sim update. Maybe something did break. Landing lights off, taxi lights. Kirkwall traffic, November 3845 Bravo, clear of the active, taxiing 32 to the terminal. Kirkwall traffic. Use this disused runway and we'll come down all the way to the end here and make a right turn to the terminal. Balance us out a bit. Taxiway Echo that way. Alright guys, I'm not sure where to park here. If we can get over there somewhere. I think there's a LoganAir hangar this way. We'll pull up right over here. Alright, feather those props. We can go through our shutdown checks here. Props feathered, generators off. Off and off. Fuel levers go off.
Engine off time logged. The flight is finished. It has been monitored by OnAir.
Boost pumps can go off, all the lights can go off. Let's not forget our strobe lights. Avionics. Alright. Thanks for flying with me today, guys. It's a couple flights for you. I don't know if I'll get this video out today. Might be a day late, but have it out Saturday morning maybe. or if some quick editing happens right now, we'll get her out today. But look at that parking, eh? Thanks for finding me today, guys. And remember, stack 'em cheap sats. We're here at Kirkwall. We got one more mission job before we complete another set of 4 missions. That goes back to Tyree from here. So Tyree. Not exactly sure how to say it, but you know what I'm getting at. Alright, guys. Have an awesome day. Thanks for watching.